Let's continue our team coverage with Team 12's political reporter Bram Resnick, and he's looking at how our members of Congress have voted on previous gun bills.
Yeah, thanks, Caribe. We looked at 4 pieces of gun legislation, including a background check bill that Democrats are demanding be heard in the Senate. There's a consistent theme with these bills, though: partisanship rules in our Arizona delegation.
President Trump called on Congress to act.
Republicans and Democrats have proven that we can join together in a bipartisan fashion to address this plague.
But the record shows few signs that Congress can do anything to deal with escalating gun violence. Early in President Trump's term in 2017, the Republican-controlled Congress rolled back an Obama-era rule, making it harder for people with mental illness to buy guns. All 5 Arizona Republicans in the House voted for the bill, current Senator Martha McSally among them. Democratic Senator Kyrsten Sinema, who was still in the House, and Tom O'Halloran of Sedona joined with Republicans supporting the rollback. Later in 2017, there was a bill allowing people with a permit to carry a concealed weapon to use their permit in other states. It passed the Republican House, but stalled in the Republican Senate. Arizona House members split on party lines. Let's jump ahead to this year. A bill extending the review period for background checks from 3 days to 10 days was passed by the Democratic-controlled House, but is stuck in the Senate. Again, there was a partisan split in the Arizona delegation. And here's the bill getting the most attention right now: the most sweeping gun safety legislation in years. The so-called bipartisan background check bill would require background checks for sales between all private parties. 8 Republicans joined with Democrats to push it through the House. Arizonans voted with their party. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell sidelined the bill, and he's resisting calls to give it a hearing.
In Arizona, Senators Kyrsten Sinema and Martha McSally haven't said whether they'd call on Mitch McConnell for a vote on the background check bill. Now, as senators for just 7 months, they haven't had to cast a vote yet on gun legislation. Let's send it back to you.